Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Yosi, good morning. Happy Friday. How are you today?
Happy Friday, Rafael. I am great and really happy to be here with you today.
I appreciate that. You got some incredible tips that you're going to be sharing with us. I'm super excited. And it's curiosity to improve your health. Why should we even be curious? But go ahead. You give us your tips.
Just think about how often we are. You mentioned earlier when we were just, getting ready about people cutting you off on the road.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you. I think you're probably a holier that guy than I am. When that happens to me, it just triggers the hell out of me. I'm like, what the hell? And what I realize is two things are happening. One is I'm like startled, but more of it is I'm making judgment that the driver's an idiot and so on. And I don't know who the driver is, probably never met them, maybe we'll never meet them. And, what do I know about it other than the thing I experienced right in that moment? Even worse than that is I know I have done that too. I have cut other people off. And when I've done it, I am very self-forgiving. Oh, I'm so sorry. I say in my mind and I wave to the guy behind me because I wasn't paying attention and the exit came up or whatever. So what if instead of judgment, I was like, actually I have no idea what's going on with that guy. And like you said, send blessing. I hope he gets to his destination or she gets to her destination safely.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time. We're in the mall and we see something and we don't know who they are and we make a judgment. Or we do see people that we know. And again, we see something and we make a judgment. Wow. So often we are just making judgments or, remember what that guy, remember what we saw so-and-so doing? I'm sure that it was because X, Y, and Z. That because X, Y, and Z, you're making that up. We're all making that up.
Yes, we are.
And it is very rare in my experience of coaching and working with people that the stuff we make up is kindness, is giving people the benefit of the doubt. And so what ends up happening is that we just sit there making slap judgments on everybody around us. And if we slow down, and I can ask all your listeners, when you do that, if you do that, does it make you feel good inside? Is good, warm emotions flowing through you as you're making judgment, or stress, anxiety, other emotions? And in a world where there's so much going on and there's mental health crises and emotional crises, this is one thing that is actually in our control.
Yes.
And it can not only shape our mindset, but it can shape our actions, our behaviors, and shift our health in a tremendous way if we made one small and yet significant change, which is when we see something, either say, I don't know, or assume the best. But at least admit that you don't know shit about it, that it's all a story you're making up in your head. So to me, that is the power, the immediate power of curiosity is making ourselves healthier, making ourselves feel better inside, and shifting the way that probably everything after that moment goes. Because I find it very rare that after I make the judgment, I'm just back to copacetic and I'm calm and relaxed and happy. No, I kind of carry that with me. And then the next thing that happens, I'm even easier to go, kind of lose my shit. How is that helping me?
Not at all. Not even a little.
You know, there's
Can I
there's
share
a
one thing with you?
yeah, please
You,
go for
you
it.
talked about, that I've had people cut me off and then for no reason give me the finger. So I go, instead of getting mad at them, I'm like, wow, they cut me off. They must be very important. The other thing I say is like, wow, they think I'm number one, except I know they used the wrong finger, but I still think they're number one. So it's that positive attitude that you, car driver, whoever you are not going to impact my day because you are either angry, in a rush, feel like you're better than everybody else. I have been given this beautiful day today to make the most of it, and you are not going to take that away from me. So that's
Yeah,
the attitude I walk into every situation.
beautiful. That's amazing. And
Mm.
honestly, that's why I said, you know, you're above me in that ability to be healthy and great to be the teacher of the body mind method, because right, that's to me the ultimate place to get to, where we can kind of do it habitually as our nature. And for me, it's still so much a work in progress. And you know, luckily, whenever I'm in the car with my wife or my kids, they are very quick to remind me that I don't know shit. And that's really what we say. Like, that's the term, you know, because it's succinct and to the point. Um, and there's in my office, I've got this little like uh it's not a poster per se, but it's a little saying, and it's a saying that's attributed to Buddha, that holding on to resentment, anger, judgment
Mm.
is like taking poison and hoping the other person's going to die. And it's so true. Meaning, when I am getting angry, when I am making judgment or anything, the person who's suffering is me. I'm
Yes.
making that up, and I am suffering. The other person, the guy in the car, the person in the car, the person who did whatever triggered me, they're going on their day, probably happy as anything, and I'm carrying it around.
Yeah.
And
They probably didn't even notice you.
probably not, right? And so just imagine what your day would be like, what a person, you know, all your listeners, what would your day be like? Just imagine if you didn't make those judgments.
Mm.
Now, one of your listeners, at least one's going to say, yeah, but that makes me powerless.
Mm.
That takes away my freedom, my whatever, my ability to be in control. I would challenge you that it absolutely does the opposite,
Mm.
that it strips you from your control. Because once you have anger flowing through you, how much in control do you actually feel of yourself as when you are calm, relaxed, but centered, or whatever? You know, Sifu, you have great words for these things, right? But when you are in your element, I would say that's when we're in our control.
Mhm.
When we're holding on to anger, resentment, judgment, when we
Mm.
got that frustration flowing through us, I actually don't think we are in control. I think we actually give up our power to those people we're angry at.
Boom. Drop mic right there. It is so critical that, like I say, and I learned this very early on, thank God, um, because people who've known me for over 30 years say to me, why aren't you angry? Why aren't you this? Why aren't you that? And I'm like, what? And give my power away to that person or to this or to this situation? My power is mine. Why am I going to give it away so freely? If I'm going to give it away, it's to help somebody,
Yeah.
to help them, to elevate. So it's not for me to give it away because they demanded. No way. That's not going to happen. And it hasn't happened. And people who've known me, they go, I've never seen you angry. I'm talking about people close to me, and they're like, and I go, why should I be? I said, I got my energy is going to be used for positive things, not that that doesn't suit me or serve me. So that which doesn't serve me, I'm not going to waste energy on
it, it's amazing, and I absolutely know it to be true,
it.
and I recognize, because I recognize that every day I still work through this, and I am nowhere at where you're at. I do get angry and I do get frustrated, and I do recognize that every time I do, I am more powerless than I was the second before, and there's a whole other set of like triggers or dominoes that flow when I give up my power, when I give it away to somebody else. And that even almost makes me more angry. And so this whole cycle of starts with my judgment because I believe I know shit that I don't. And then I'm triggered, and then I'm easily triggered again. And at the end of the day, I'm exhausted and drained. And you know what? It doesn't make a difference if I was not doing anything or if I was actually slogging away. Giving away my power is draining as all get out. And when I work with people and they start practicing it, the shift that they share with me is tremendous. And I know that you know it because you probably do it all the time with the people that you coach and that you guide through this process.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it okay if I share something with you? Something that it's very dear to me.
Please,
Take a
man.
look. You followed the rules, tried the restrictions, counted the carbs, the steps, and the failures. You're not lazy. You're exhausted from doing it all without real change. What if the problem isn't you, but the plan? Sifu's Mind Body Method is a 90-day transformation built on 7 unshakable pillars: mindset, movement, nutrition, hydration, fasting, journaling, and faith. This isn't another shortcut. It's your structure, your strength, your reset. You don't need harder. You need better. Ready to begin? Your momentum is waiting. That's it. Let's go.
Man, what are they? Truth to power or something? Words? Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember the first time, and I think I shared with you, I'm an engineer by background, and I mean, I certainly believed that I was emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent until I discovered that maybe I was, but that there was a whole other level. There was the bronze, the gold, the platinum levels of getting to emotional awareness. And there was a whole bunch of years where I was going through training to be a therapist, and it was really focused on emotional wellness. And I think it's has a lot of, I didn't know you then, and I think it has a lot of similarity to the program that you're doing. And I never felt better in my life, emotionally, physically, than when I was actively practicing those things. And every time we talk and you share that video or the other ones, there's a part of me that's like, oh my God, that sounds intense. And then there's this other part of me that knows that it's kind of like calling my soul home to a place where I can really actually have the life that I dream about having, from a mental space, an emotional space, a space of my own power on how to really change my life forward. I think that, again, this idea that either the judgment that we do or the thinking that we know what's going to happen next. I know that person already. I know what's going to happen next. I've been in that situation. I know all of this future knowing thing when none of us are prophets. What are we doing? How is that actually benefiting us by making up stories or pictures or predictions about the future. And if you're a prophet, please message us. I'm sure, Sifu, you want to know if there's a prophet.
Let's talk
I
if you're a
definitely want to know if
prophet.
there's a prophet out there. All right.
Well, you're in
Besides,
Israel. You're in Israel right now, and I'm sure you're running across a lot of prophets,
yeah,
because that is the land of beauty.
I,
Um,
I run across a lot of people who try to predict the future.
mm,
And the beauty of humanity is we don't know. You know, that's our ability to choose. And I do believe in God, and I do believe that God gave humanity free will. And I really believe that's what we have. We have the ability to do what we did last time. But as the stock market says, past results are not predictors of future results, or something like that.
mhm.
Right? We can shift, we can even change. And I think it is that very brave and bold step to try something different. And my call to action for you guys is once today or over the weekend, a judgment will show up in your head, and ask yourself, what if I don't know? What if
Mm,
I'm actually wrong in all of what I'm thinking right now?
yeah, love that.
What would you notice inside? What would you notice in your mindset, in what you do next? If you could ask yourself in that moment of making a judgment, what if I'm wrong?
Mm,
What if I actually don't know? What if the story in my head is just wrong?
mm. Yosi, I gotta tell you, I don't know where I got this from, but I heard it. Um, a man who steps into a river is not the same man that steps into the same river the next day, and the river is not the same, because the river is always changing, and that man or that woman is always changing. So we can change. We just need to want to.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I would say actually, biologically, we are, right? Meaning our cells are constantly
Mhm.
reproducing, dying. And a doctor once told me that, like, all of the cells in our eyeballs are, and essentially after about 48 hours, all of the cells in our eyeballs, other than our lens, is a brand new eye.
Mm.
And so on and so forth, that the cells in our body over the course, I guess, of a year, it's all new cells. We're always changing.
Every
We're
day.
always changing.
Sometimes. I mean, look, if you would look at your pillow with a microscope, you would see that you left some of you on that pillow, right? I got to
Oh
tell
yeah.
you, what a great share that you shared with us today, because we can evolve, and we can change our health based on the perception that we have of ourselves. And I love that you shared that with us today. What can somebody expect when they share, or reach out to you? Because we have your website coming across. Would you mind sharing that? You have about 45 seconds to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Sifu. So as you'll see, it's actually my LinkedIn site. I'm still trying to find time to actually build my website. And what people can expect is a lot of what we're talking about today in a one-on-one type of conversation, of learning how to self-reflect, learning how to get support on being more aware of all of the stuff we're holding on to, being able to reflect, is that actually supporting the person I want to be? Is that helping me be successful in my life, in my relationships, in what I'm doing? And if you are finding that you are not, you look back day to day, week to week, and you're like, same, SSDD, same shit, different day, and it
Mm,
feels that way, and you want to shift that pattern, I would love to have a conversation with you.
yeah.
I'm not here to upsell Sifu, and I got to tell you though, if you really want to go through that transformational place, and yes, it's going to be effort and work, because that's what letting go of the entrapments that we have. Please take that 90-day journey.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, my friend. What a great and thank you for taking the time today to share with us the work that you have been doing, what you're able to grasp and share with the world and share with this audience here. Um, it's a blessing to know you, and we did realize that we live not too far. Right now, you're in Israel, but you're not too far from me. So when you come back to the States, we're going to get together and continue to share with one another, and hopefully with others on the beauty that you bring to the world.
And yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you a lot, and I do look forward to it. We'll be back soon, and I'm definitely looking forward to meeting you in person.
All right. God bless you. And
God bless
everybody,
you.
do me a favor, share this episode with everybody that you know that needs to hear this message. Everybody, do yourself a favor. Have an exceptional rest of your day. Take care, everybody.